Today, I want to take a closer look at your favorite semiconductor company, Intel. The company today hosted their first day of Intel Innovation 2023. I do believe it's a 2-day event. And during today's keynote, they kind of talked a lot about their accelerators, their software, their CPUs for the data center market, for the consumer market. They even discussed their manufacturing updates. And what I want to do on today's episode is really just focused in the kind of the AI market, mainly in the accelerator and in the software space, and how this might show some competitive pressure to Nvidia. So let's take a closer look in today's episode. I am pretty surprised though, Intel stock is down roughly 4% today, even though I do believe the event was great. I guess most of what they shared today was already known, right? I do believe there was one great information and one big AI win that they mentioned here that I wasn't familiarized with, but everything else seems to be old news, and I do believe maybe the market was expecting a little bit more. But year to date, Intel is not doing that bad. It's up roughly 35%, almost 36% on a year to date basis. In the past year, Intel is up roughly 25.5%. So like I mentioned today, the company held their Intel Innovation 2023, and I had this pretty cool presentation where we're going to take a closer look at two main plays. We're going to take a closer look at their Gaudi 2, which is their accelerating market, and then we're going to take a closer look at their software space. Obviously, these are two markets that Nvidia is really dominating. Nvidia right now didn't see much movement. It's down roughly 1% at the end of the day. So I don't think investors are too worried. I want to say for me, I am a shareholder of Nvidia. I'm not worried about Intel as an investor, but I do believe Intel has some growth opportunities here in the AI and in the accelerating market. So for those that are not familiar, this is Intel's accelerator. It is called Gaudi 2, and it came from an acquisition that they made, I believe, in 2018 or 2019 with a company called Habana. So Gaudi 2 is actually doing really, really well, right? We are seeing a lot of discussions about their ML performance benchmarks. And today, Intel announced that they just secured a design that's a pretty big deal. A large AI supercomputer built entirely on Intel Xeon processor and 4,000 Intel Gaudi 2 accelerators. They got that pretty big deal, right? And I think that's insane. I don't think we've seen too many supercomputers go with kind of a full Intel lineup. Obviously, their Xeon processors are doing really, really well. So we normally see a nice amount of movement in their Xeon processor. But I feel like we haven't really seen too many wins in their Gaudi 2 accelerator. So I do believe this was a big move. And to me, this was the biggest surprise that Intel announced today. They also announced that Dell Technologies and Intel are collaborating to offer AI solutions to meet customers wherever they are on their AI journey. Power Edge system with Xeon and Gaudi will support AI workloads ranging from large-scale training to base-level inferencing. So for those that are not familiar, Dell Technologies, they are a huge creator of, they are an OEM company, right? They do design racks that go into like data centers. They also kind of design full servers in themselves. So one of the solutions in their Power Edge system is they're going to offer Xeon GPUs and Gaudi Xeon CPUs and Gaudi GPUs, right? So I do believe it's a big win. It's kind of just showcasing how maybe more people are becoming more aware of Intel's AI accelerator and becoming more, I want to say, confident in using that solution, right? Because somebody like Dell is not going to go out there and buy inventory of Gaudi if they don't believe they'll be able to sell it, right? So it kind of shows a strength, a voice of confidence for Intel and their Gaudi 2 accelerator. I personally, though, try to go to Dell's kind of server solutions and kind of build my own server to see if I can find Intel Gaudi 2. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find it. Here is a quick list of some of the accelerators that I found. Obviously, it's mainly controlled by Nvidia, their Ampere, their A100, obviously their H100, their L40s, and their L4S. I also did see AMD's kind of MI200 and MI300, but I didn't see Intel's Gaudi 2 I wonder if it's only meant for some really, really niche server power edge systems. So if you might have found them, let me know in the comments below. But or it might just be too early and maybe they still need to update maybe their website. But I tried to search online and I wasn't able to find which servers are going to be running Gaudi 2. While I was doing this, to my surprise, we do see that NVIDIA's H100 is selling at roughly $57,000 each. I think that is insane, right? And we see like the L40 at $14,000. The AMD MI200 is a measly $9,000. So we can definitely see how far advanced NVIDIA is in forms of pricing power and how strong they can kind of price against the competition. So next I want to take a closer look at the software market, but I do want to say thank you guys for the support. We just hit 28,000 subs. I'm trying to hit 30,000 by the end of the year. So if you haven't, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. I do have a master's degree in electrical engineer, and I've worked at some pretty cool places. Now I'm pretty much chilling here on YouTube. I do have a weekly exclusive video membership of video on here on YouTube. Just click join to learn more about those exclusive weekly videos. If you want a special offer, check out fool.com/Jose. If you want a free newsletter, josenajarro.substack.com, and free semiconductor news at semiconductorwatch.com. Finally, I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode. So now I also want to kind of showcase a little bit about Intel's kind of accelerating market. So they do have GPUs and they have dedicated AI accelerators. I do believe in forms of accelerators, the ones that are really getting tractions are the Habana Gaudi accelerators. They do have kind of the data center GPU Flex series and the GPU Max series, which is codename Arctic Sound, and codename, I always mispronounce this one, Ponte Vecchio. I see random news here and there, but I do believe the biggest breadwinner for Intel in forms of accelerators is the Habana Gaudi 2. This is kind of their roadmap that they showcased on March 2023. We can see next in line is going to be Gaudi 3, and they're also going to be focusing on Falcon Shores for Intel's GPU. So they do have a roadmap coming up for the upcoming years, and I do believe Habana Gaudi 2 and Habana Gaudi 3 is probably going to be a really big move for Intel in forms of AI accelerator. Now continuing here on the Gaudi 2, a few things I also want to mention. Maybe not what we heard today, but kind of just showcase this kind of competitive pressure that Intel might be showcasing the AI accelerating market. Obviously, AMD has some AI accelerators, and obviously Nvidia is the top dog here. But on September 11th, Intel shows strong AI inference performance in the ML Commons benchmark. So ML Commons is this kind of benchmark that is used to kind of validate AI hardware to some extent. And Gaudi 2 did pretty good. Gaudi 2 actually outperformed NVIDIA's H100 on a state-of-the-art vision language model. It was a very, very niche product, but Gaudi 2 did outperform NVIDIA's H100, their current generation, in that kind of workload. So that's pretty interesting. And it kind of showcases that, hey, Intel offers a viable alternative to NVIDIA's H100 and A100. Some other things that we did hear about that kind of performance, the Habana Gaudi 2, they did kind of do performance in other tests, and it does seem like the Gaudi 2 delivers compelling performance versus NVIDIA's H100, and they obviously show that the H100 is a bit faster than Intel's Gaudi 2, but it does look pretty close, right? In certain workloads, H100 was only showing a 1.09x times performance boost. So that's not much, right? A little bit less than 10%. So overall, we can see that Intel, at least at the moment, in forms of hardware solutions, they do have some form of they are kind of a nice viable alternative versus NVIDIA's H100. Gaudi 2 does outperform NVIDIA's A100 in numerous kind of workload. So we can see definitely some good moves for Intel here in the Gaudi 2 market. And obviously, I am bullish in Nvidia. It's my number one position. And Nvidia is more than just a hardware company, it is a software company. And we have heard from a lot of, I want to say, AI developers here on the channel that showcase that, hey, you look, Nvidia with their CUDA software platform is untouchable at the moment. Even if Gaudi 2 and Intel is kind of showcasing all these great kind of performance boost and strength and kind of alternative option to NVIDIA's H100, at the end of the day, most developers are going to choose an H100 and an NVIDIA platform over Intel. But it does seem like, hey, look, Intel at least is moving in the right direction. Kind of showcasing a little bit more about Intel's demand. We did hear on their quarter 2 2023 earnings call, which was on July 28th of 2023, that their pipeline opportunities through 2024 is rapidly increasing in the AI market. They have over a 1 billion pipeline and is continued to expand with Gaudi driving the lion's share. And like we saw earlier today, Intel did win that big super AI computer customer with a huge pipeline of Gaudi accelerators. Kind of showcasing a little bit more, we did hear from Supermicro in their fourth quarter 2023 earnings call on August 8th of 2023 that they are also getting good traction on Intel's Gaudi 2 as well as AMD's MI250 accelerator solutions. So for those that are not familiar with Supermicro Computer, this is a company that creates these servers, these kind of rack solutions for data centers and other forms of high performance computing players. So Supermicro is saying that, hey, look, we are seeing a good amount of traction here in Intel's Gaudi 2. All right, so next I want to take a closer look at some of the software developments that Intel announced here in their Innovation Day. I do want to say probably most of these software updates are a little bit, it's not necessarily new, but I do believe the innovation or the software market gets overlooked a lot. So I like to look overall during big events like this to kind of get an understanding of what's happening. So the first thing that came out is Intel and Pat Gelsinger announced the general availability of Intel Developer Cloud. And Intel Developer Cloud lets developers build and test applications on the whole Big Iron family, Intel Gaudi 2, fourth generation Xeon processor, the CPU Max series, and Intel data center GPUs. And it includes Intel's suite of software for AI, deep learning, high performance computing, rendering, and more. The other thing that's pretty interesting is Intel's Developer Cloud also lets developers access pre-production hardware and thus prepare to get to the market faster. I think that's actually a pretty cool idea that, hey, look, we're coming out with these products in the upcoming months. We're going to let you kind of develop something on it already. So like that, when you get your hands on it, it's pretty much a touch and go kind of product, and it gets to the market a lot faster. They did mention that right now, access to latest Intel hardware, such as the 5th generation Intel Xeon processor, which will be available in December 14th, is already available on their software solution. So if you are a company that's going to get, for example, Intel Xeon scalable processors on December 14th, you can already start developing within there. So once you get that hardware, it'll be a lot faster to get to the market. So here we can see Intel's Developer Cloud. It kind of just shows get started with Intel, early technology assets, and it helps you deploy AI at scale. It kind of talks about the available Intel hardware, their Intel Xeon CPUs, their Intel GPUs, and the Gaudi 2 AI accelerator. This also comes as a service tier, so there is a standard free, but there is a premium pay as you go, where you get some other benefits. And if you are an enterprise, you do pay per subscription for teams. So we can see this is definitely another solution that Intel's trying to get here in the software market. The final one I want to talk about is Intel also talked about their OpenVINO toolkit. OpenVINO is Intel's AI inferencing and deployment runtime of choice for developers and clients and edge platforms. So he did mention that they did release a new version 2023.1. The release includes pre-trained models optimized for integration across operating systems and include many generative AI models such as Llama 2 model from Meta. So we can definitely see how Intel is a little bit more into the AI market at the moment. They also mentioned projects Strata and the development of edge native software platform. They do mention that the platform launches in 2024, so it's coming out with a new software solution within the upcoming months, and it's going to be mainly meant to enable developers to build, deploy, run, manage, connect, and secure distributed edge infrastructure and applications. So we can definitely see how Intel is really moving into this software space, very similar to what Nvidia did. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. It was a pretty nice update on their accelerating market and their software market. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I mentioned, I do believe Intel, I'm personally getting more and more excited about Intel. I wouldn't be surprised if I maybe open up a small position in the future. If this goes below 30, then I definitely would kind of get into it a little bit more. But at the same time, I already have exposure in AMD and Nvidia that I don't mind not having a position or Intel. And if I do, it will probably be a very, very small position. But the company is definitely showcasing a lot of great informations. Later today on my semiconductor channel, I will be posting a video on some of the solutions they announced that might be competitive against AMD. So make sure to join that channel as well. It's called Semiconductor Investing and More. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.